So we're not getting Frightfur Patchwork until May, and that sucks. So I wanted to talk about it, but let's get through this shitty intro first. Anyway, a couple months ago, there was I want to say it was a convention, like a gaming convention, and there was a PowerPoint presentation on a bunch of new packs and sets that were coming out, and this is a screenshot of it. So this is for Duelist Saga, which is the set that's coming out this Friday on the 31st. I believe that must be a Friday. Anyway, so if you read the description there, it says, an Easter item like never before, spanning all 5 series of Yu-Gi-Oh! With everything from hero cards to Frightfurs and Dark Lord cards, a whopping 100 card set with 40 brand new cards. So you can see right in there, it says Frightfurs on the fucking PowerPoint. And this is like a real thing that Konami did, and there were like a bunch of other sets in this thing as well that just had these small blurbs of what was in the set. Anyway, it says Frightfurs, and if you look at the set review, which I don't have a screenshot for or a link for because I'm garbage at YouTube, but it's on John's channel. But the important part is that there's not a single Frightfur card in the entire set, and that makes this really fucking stupid. So like we all thought, so I mean I had high hopes for it being in Fusion Enforcers, but then that didn't happen, and that kind of makes sense. I mean, we had like a couple OCG imports that weren't in the OCG version of whatever Fusion Enforcers was, so I figured there'd be some hope, but it wasn't in that. And then I thought it'd be in Duel Saga, which would be, I mean, I've waited like a month now for this card, but it's not in there. It's actually in, we'll go to the product page that's currently up on the official Yu-Gi-Oh site, and this is for Duelist Pack Dimensional Guardians. So this is a Duelist Pack, which means that it only has like a couple cards per pack. Yeah, just 5 cards, and I would assume, yeah, it has rares in it, so I don't think hollows would be guaranteed. I don't know, what is this even? I have no idea. I don't know if hollows would be guaranteed. Usually in Duelist Packs they're not, but I don't think we've had a Duelist Pack. Well, because like Millennium, no, the hollows shouldn't be guaranteed. It doesn't really matter. That's besides the point. The important part is the very last paragraph, which says, Duelist Pack Dimensional Guardians is full of cards made famous by Jack, Kite, Alexis, and Alexis in their original incarnations from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. But it also includes new cards that they use in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, or Arc V. I don't know, I don't watch the fucking anime. What do you want me to say? Like, is it Arc V, is it Arc 5? Who cares? Doesn't matter. There are also brand new cards in popular Arc 5, Arc V? I feel like it's Arc V. I don't know. Strategies like Performapels, Speed Roys, and once again, it says Frightfurs and Raid Raptors that you won't find anywhere else. This has to be Frightfur Patchwork. Like, it has to. Just because it should be Frightfur Patchwork, Frightfur Reborn, and Frightfur Daredevil. Those are 3 cards that we do not have yet. I believe they're the only 3 Frightfurs that we don't have. Most of the other stuff was imported just in Fusion Enforcers. But it's like, it absolutely has to be in this set. And this comes out on May 26th. It's crazy to think about, like, I will not even be in school by the time this shit comes out. I will be weeks after school ends. Like, it's, oh man, it just sucks. Like, I want to play fucking Frightfur Patchwork. But anyway, so we're not getting until May, allegedly, and there's not really anything else that this would be in. I suppose that the leaked lists that we have of Duel Saga are, I mean, they're technically unconfirmed. We don't have like pictures of all the cards, but there'd be no reason to have Frightfurs in that set and Frightfurs in this set because there's only like 3 of them that we don't have. So like naturally, yes, this will be the set that we get them in way down the line in May. That's not the worst timing in the world because we'll have a month and a half with it before the WCQ, which is July 7th through 9th. And I don't know, like right now, if I plan on taking Fuffles to the event, but I think they're definitely a strong contender just because of how difficult it is for Zodiacs to deal with Frightfur Sheep and Frightfur Sabretooth. I know it sounds like ridiculous, but it's actually like really hard for me to get over Sheep. Sheep's like the most annoying card ever because they have to either like pop it with 2 Tridents, or they have to Trident pop it and run it over by battle, which means they have to have a Trident with more than 2,800 attack points, which means they have to have like a Thoroughblade and 2 Whiptails equipped to it, which is just like really weird, especially with their consistency loss. Anyway, though, we're not getting this until May, like I said, the very end of May, and then we'll have a month and a half to get it before the WCQ. So like that's not terrible, but it's like Man, we like really need this card. I'll put the effect up on the screen. I guess I've been talking about this. You might not even know what it is. So Frightfur Patchwork is pretty simple. It adds 1 polymerization and 1 edge imp monster from your deck to your hand, and then you'll only activate it once per turn. That makes sense. So basically, you can add edge imp. I mean, all of the edge imps, but really, you're just trying to add edge imp chain. Edge imp chain is the most important card in Fluffles, and it also is not searchable by anything that is reliable. It might be searchable like some like really terrible traps or something, but like Fluffle Dog and Toy Vendor can only search edge imp sabers, not edge imp chain. So that's like super fucking annoying. But it's like you need this card because it gets you to Frightfur Fusion for free or Frightfur Factory for free, which are both really important combo extenders. And also this makes Sheep, where like you need this to make Sheep. You can't use sabers, so you have to see this card or Instant Fusion. And it's just like, and like the problem with the deck is that right now there's no way to search polymer. Okay, I mean, I guess there's a way to search polymerization without using a normal summon, because you can use like King of the Swamp, but like I don't want to play King of the Swamp because it's really bad, and it's just like a 1-for-1. It's like that's not very good. But this can search polymerization and an edge imp without your normal summon, and that's just like so crucial. I mean, the edge imp chain is actually just like the most important. It's definitely the most important edge imp, and I would say it's arguably one of the more important, just in general, like Fluffle cards, just because like it gets you to so many different things. I mean, really the best way to kill people with Fluffles is to like trigger a bunch of effects off of your fusion summons, and like you can also like discard edge imp chain with like Toy Vendor or like Penguin, or a 1-for-1, I guess. There's just like edge imp chain is so important, and yet we can't get Frightfur Patchwork, and it's like, is the deck playable right now? I mean, yes. I mean, by the day that this video is uploaded, I guess I'm scrubbing out at regionals with Fluffles, so like I must believe in it just like a little bit. But Frightfur Patchwork is just so crucial for making the deck not suck, because right now, like, I don't know how people just aren't playing Brilliant Fusion and Fluffles, because if you don't open polymerization and you don't open Owl, you like have to use your dog search on Owl, and then like if you don't have Brilliant Fusion, like you can't then get the polymerization as well. But like I don't think Brilliant Fusion will be necessary once we have Frightfur Patchwork, but right now I really do think it is, because of like just all the combos. But Frightfur Patchwork is a card that's like, okay, so it's good if you don't have any good cards, because it adds basically if you have Frightfur Patchwork and any Fluffle, you have 8,000 damage, because you just Frightfur Patchwork for edge imp and poly, and then you fuse for Kraken, I guess. Wait, let me think about this for a second. How does that combo work? It's like it just summons, basically you're just summoning Kraken and Sabretooth. Seems pretty straightforward, although it's like it's escaping me how that works. I must just be like stupid or missing something. I don't know if I probably am lying to you guys, but it's good. It must just be like if you have this and any 2 Fluffles, because that would be enough to kill your opponent. I must be missing something with like the 1 Fluffle, unless it's like Dog or whatever. But anyway, like it's really good for OTKs, because you can just use it to grab the 2 best cards, and it's essentially the important thing is that it's essentially 2 polymerizations, because like you get the first polymerization, and then you fuse with stuff, and then chain searches Factory, which is like a second copy of polymerization, or like Frightfur Fusion if you wanted that as well. I guess you could just I see. You just if you have this and any Fluffle, you make a Kraken, and then you just add Frightfur Fusion, and then banish the 2 cards in grave that you just fusion summoned with to make a second Kraken, and then you have 4 attacks of 2200, so like that's more than 8,000 damage, so good for you. But I mean, the cool thing though is, like I was saying, so this card's good if you have no good cards, but it's also good if you like already have good cards, because then you can just like grab sabers to just sort of further your advantage. And you can also, if you like open, let's say you just open edge imp chain and like Owl, okay, so you can go Owl, add polymerization, and then fuse into Kraken or Sheep or whatever, and then chain can grab, like, yeah, let's just say Kraken for example. Chain can grab Frightfur Patchwork because it's a Frightfur card, and then you can activate it to add another polymerization and like a Sabers or whatever, and then you can fusion summon into like Sabretooth using the Saber and then the Frightfur that you had. And like that's an OTK. That's like 8,000 damage as well if you made Kraken, because then you have the Saber Tooth and it brings back the Kraken. 8,000 damage exactly, and it's like, so it's like good if you don't have good cards. It's good if you do have good cards. It's a free +1. It is once this card gets added, it is the best card in Fuffles because it just does everything you want it to out of a Fuffle card. It just makes the deck so much more consistent, and I want it, and I'm frustrated that we don't have it. I really am frustrated about this because it's like we just missed 2 opportunities to have it, and we still don't have it. So like, please Konami, can you just like release this fucking card already? Thanks.